Hey there, good folks. Dr. Charlie Brown here. Today's Charlie Chats focuses on a conversation I had recently with a friend. She said, I was telling her a story and about a particular point of difficulty for me. And she said, oh, you changed the rules on this person and they are responding in kind. And it made me laugh and it made me think and it shut me up because I've talked about that before. I definitely have used a metaphor for that in a different video, in a different Charlie Chats video, and yet and still I don't always remember that it's true in the moment, in real life. I don't always remember that it's true. In this case, I was just talking about how much sadness and grief I had at, about a particular person who is not presently in my life. And I was describing that to her and she said, you changed the rules. And I was like, oh, I did change the rules. And I think that it's so important to be able to hold space for that, both for myself, in grief and in worry and in fear and in anger and in whatever else, to understand that it might be the result of somebody changing the rules, but isn't that true in the wider scheme? When somebody's trying to do something new, to do something that you're unfamiliar with, sometimes that person is you. For me, it's me a lot. And then I change the rules on what a dynamic or what a relationship dynamic looked like, or even what my own relationship dynamic with myself, what that looks like. And I don't always know how to navigate that in real time, in the real world, I guess. There's so much that's present. There's so many both heavy and light emotions and feelings and experiences that we each go through to understand how I'm responding, how I'm reacting to the rules being changed. Even if I change my own rules, I know that there's, if you're in one place in your life and you're really trying to get to this other place, you can't do that from the same level of beingness that you were on the previous place, in that first place or that before place. The new, the after, they have to, it requires different things of you. It requires different ideas to come through. I try to pay attention when I'm thinking the same thing over and over again, but it's not really getting me what I would like it to get me. I do a new moon and a full moon ritual. So yesterday, as I'm taping this, yesterday was the full moon. I actually did it this morning because I was really tired last night. And just when I reread them, I'm like, oh, I've been saying the same things for a year now. Like, how can I make this more nuanced? How can I form this idea in a different way? And sometimes that opens up the space to allow the new thing in, to allow the new thing to blossom. And I think it's just important to remember that sometimes we change the rules. Sometimes we change the rules for ourselves. Sometimes we change the rules for others. And to allow maybe compassion for the fact that each of us gets to live out our story. Each of us gets to make our own decisions about what the structure of our lives looks like in ways that don't always mesh with what other people think our lives should look like or could look like. And that everybody's coming from their own place of woundedness and fear, I would say. And those are related, and those might be even the same thing, where because I'm afraid that this thing happened, or if I'm afraid that our relationship has changed, I may not know what to do with that. I may not know how to hold space for that and carry that forward into this new way that I want to be, or this new way that I want to be with you, however that looks. So really just be gentle with yourself as you hold your compassion and your grief and your joy and, maybe your sorrow, maybe your lightheartedness, maybe your gaiety, your happiness, your laughter, your light, as well as the more dense, heavy things, to try and understand, or try to come to a place of understanding, at least in the moment, because understanding shifts too, of being able to say, I've changed the rules. How do I be? How am I? How can I be in this new ruled aspect of my life? And to not to let that be fluid, to let that have some flexibility within its structure, and to maybe push the boundaries of that structure to see how else you could do this life, this relationship, this point of beingness that you exist in this moment. All right, good folks, I will leave it there for now, and I hope to connect again with you soon. Take great care. Bye-bye now.